TLW Power On Challenge, TLW Core Systems Challenge. We do not officially start until the 30th. So next week is prep week. I highly advise for you to go ahead and start getting your feet wet next week, figuring out where we're gonna have some issues, where we're gonna have some trouble, to where when we actually start on the 30th, you're gonna be smooth sailing. That's what I do for every challenge for me personally, is I go ahead and like tentatively start the week before, so I'm not slapped in the face or blindsided when the challenge actually starts. I am like ready to rock and roll because I've ironed out all the wrinkles from the week prior. So this challenge is going to be different than any other challenge that I've ever done before in the past, simply because of the points system. I love challenges. I do believe that challenges are really good for points in your life where you need to get your shit together, where, you know, you just feel like you are, you know, your life just feels a little bit crazy, and we need to stop making compromises for ourselves and excuses for ourselves as to why we feel like we're struggling and why we're not where we want to be. And if that's you, and you don't want to do the challenge, then that's fine. Just don't wonder why we're not where we want to be and why our life is struggling. We need to just go ahead and accept that, like, hey, it's me. I'm not ready for a challenge right now. And this is, you know, this is why I'm not where I want to be. That's totally fine. But we can't complain about it if that might be you. Okay. I'm just giving you tough love because I care about you. And that's simply it. And I'm also, you know, talking to myself as well in that department. So, anyway, I love challenges where there is zero compromise, where it's like, hey, you know, no, you cannot drink alcohol. If you do drink alcohol, you're out of the challenge. Or if you don't complete one day, you're out of the challenge. That does teach you really good discipline and zero compromise and zero excuses, and you make it happen regardless. And I do believe that that's okay, like once a year or so, but it just kind of goes against what the lifestyle way is about, where it's like, you know, Ashton and I constantly coach to you guys where it's like, don't ever settle to be perfect. You know, like if you didn't get if you got X and Y done, but you didn't get Z done, that's still, you know, a win for that day. If you had a crazy day because you did the best that you could, you know, your day is not, you know, just completely done because you didn't do all the things, right? So that's why I implemented, and I truly did not like, you know, when we started those challenges with the zero compromise. I didn't like, you know, when we got 10 days in and I got a text message from a client saying, hey, I'm out of the challenge because I got sick, or I'm out of the challenge because, you know, I really had just an absolute crazy day. I got my walk in, I got my water in, and I hit my protein, but I just didn't even come close to my calories, or whatever it may have been. I hated that. Like, that just bothered me. And so I want to change it up. And that's why I'm doing this point system, is because it still gives you opportunity every single waking minute to keep trying and keep adding on those points. You know, I look at every day as like a bank account, you know? So like every day you can just keep adding to your bank account. And if you take some away, you take some away, but you still got some there, you know? So that's what this point system is about, is just adding up as much points as you can and keep trying, because you are never failing. You are never out of the game. If you keep trying, you're always still going to be in the game, and you're never going to be failing if you keep trying. And that's kind of the point and methodology of the point system that I wanted to bring into these challenges, is that it's not an all or nothing. It's just, you just keep trying and keep adding on points, to where, like, if you use 2 of your mulligan days, if you're doing Power On Challenge, then you, and you had another special event and you wanted to drink, that's fine. You just deduct points from your day because, that was your decision that you wanted to make. And it'll also change the way that you think of it too. Like, instead of saying, oh, I can't have alcohol, well then screw it, I'm not even going to do the challenge because I know I might mess up here or there. It still gives you, again, that opportunity to participate in this challenge. And it also may even make you think a little bit on, damn, like, I crushed it today. And tonight really isn't that big of a deal. Like, I'm just going out, with just my husband, which I don't mean to say it like that, but if you go out with your husband every week, it's like, you don't need to drink every time. You know what I mean? So it just gives you that opportunity to think for a second and say, is this really worth it? Like, I'm going to deduct all my points just from having this one drink. Is it worth it? To where you might not do it. And it just makes you think a little bit more about your actions. But also, again, like, doesn't say like, hey, if you drink alcohol, you're freaking out, and I hate to put this all on alcohol, but you get what I'm saying. So, I don't like you being completely out of a challenge just because you didn't do one thing that day. I still want you to be able to earn points and stay in the game because, again, like, that's what we teach. All right. Is to not be perfect. Every opportunity, every moment, every day, you get a new bank account and you can keep adding to your bank account if you want to, even if you didn't do all the things. So how I'm going to keep track of my points, and I feel like this is going to be pretty easy this way, is that I'm just going to know that every day I do my daily tasks. I know for sure, like, I'm not even going to worry about those unless I don't do something that day. Then I'll deduct. But, so I am just going to X off every day that I do and just know that that is 4 points or 5 points. And then I'm going to keep track. So my template's going to kind of keep track of my daily tasks, that I earn every day. But my extra points and my subtraction points I'm going to keep track of in my notes. So in my notes, if I listen to a podcast that day, I'm going to put +1. If I, I even forget what the extra points are. If I attended the weekly meeting, I'm going to put another +1, so, and then at the end of the challenge, I'm going to add up all my stuff, but I'm also going to erase a point or 4 points or 5 points if I drank that day. And it wasn't one of my mulligan days. So just keep track of your extra points and then subtract anything from your extra points if you didn't do a daily task that day. Or what you can even do is just keep track of your extra points and do a +1, +1, +1, +2, whatever. And then you can even do -1, -2, -5, or whatever. So just keep track of your extra points and keep track of your negative points too. And then, it'll be like what is the word I'm looking for? Freaking addition, subtraction thing. What the hell's that word? Anyway, so you'll add up, let's say you get 50 points extra, but you have 20 points negative, right? It would be, your total extra points would be 30 plus all your daily tasks. Does that make sense? And then that would be your total score at the end of the challenge. Lord help me. You guys understand that, right? Anyway, if you have any questions, just email me. Okay? All right. Well, this is the first time me doing a point system, so please be patient with me. If you have any feedback, any ideas on how we can do this better for the next time, let me know. I'm all ears. All right. Appreciate you guys, and I'm really excited to start this with you officially on January 30th, because next week, the 23rd, is prep week.